Since the start of the year, Ripple has been facing a lot of problems with regard to its lawsuit with the regulatory body, the SEC. But now, it appears as the lawsuit will eventually benefit the entire cryptocurrency market, most importantly, the regulatory authority of digital assets on the global standards. Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the latest developments with respect to the Ripple versus the SEC lawsuit. The video is going to be interesting because if you are not quite following current affairs, this is going to be a great help for you to be able to decide whether or not to invest in XRP or any of Ripple's ventures. But before we get started, please be advised that nothing in this video amounts to be taken as a piece of financial or investment advice. You are requested to pursue your diligent research or consult an expert to make better investment decisions. On that note, shall we begin? Ripple, a fintech company whose terms are not good with the U.S. regulatory authority SEC. The lawsuit started last year in the month of December when SEC accused Ripple of selling XRP as unregistered securities, and because it was being marketed as security as per SEC's claim, XRP should be considered as a security and is needed to be governed and pay taxes to the SEC. This was SEC's contention. On the other hand, Ripple argued that the fintech company had the defense of fair notice because XRP had been sold and the operation started around 8 years back, about which the SEC has had a clear idea. Therefore, without giving any fair notice to Ripple, especially after trading for all these years, it was unfair for the SEC to file a suit against Ripple abruptly. Well, the matter started as a concern for the company, but now it stands holding a substantial value for all other digital currencies in the market. If either of the parties wins the suit at this point, a higher chance of disbalance into the authoritative powers and the overall governance of the cryptocurrency market would be in question. A lot has happened after the preliminary issue. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has told CNBC that the issue is likely to come to an end next year. The CEO said that even though the justice system is moving slowly, the hearings are making pretty good progress, and the judge has been asking important questions. He added, "I think the judge realizes this is not just about Ripple, this will have broader implications." The biggest thing that has been happening to the matter is that the Fox business decided to take cognizance and pursue an investigative report into the regulatory approach taken against Ripple. 2 days ago, on 25th November 2021, Eleanor Terrett tweeted the completion of the report made alongside Charles Gasparino into preparing an investigative report on the biggest issue in the cryptocurrency market today. The article is titled Regulatory Riddle: An Investigation into the SEC versus Ripple Case and Its Consequences for Crypto. The rapidly expanding crypto business is attracting regulatory scrutiny from the SEC. This report is indeed a very detailed one that establishes all the shady business and another conflict of interest that has been taking place throughout the matter, starting from the signing off of the then chairman Jay Clayton just hours before the defeat of Donald Trump and the coincidental filing of the lawsuit by the SEC. This report also brings across the testimony of William Hinman, whose transcripts are currently under controversy. This report also looks into Ethereum as a cryptocurrency because Ripple had specially incorporated Ethereum into the matter as a comparison to XRP's ledger and a worthy competition to Ethereum. We will leave a link on the article for you to read through in the description. Make sure you do because this is important to understand what have been the shady activities in this matter. Coming to the timeline and updates, we are approaching the next set of hearings that have been scheduled on December 6th, on which the SEC is going to answer a lot of questions asked by the fintech company. The month of November 2021 has been very silent on the lawsuit update, but not for long. The deadline is approaching, and we have some dead silence which is expected to come out screaming, as the SEC is expected to comply with most of the aspects of the court order dated to 21st October 2021. The order specifically spoke about 2 discovery disputes. The first one, where SEC needs to specify with evidence on their allegation about Ripple claiming to talk about profits. SEC previously had alleged that Ripple sold XRP in lieu of the stakeholders getting profits. Ripple has now asked to specifically identify any term in any XRP sales contract that has created an expectation of profits. there are approximately 1,500 contracts from which the SEC is required to scrutinize and present whatever they think is malicious to validate their contention. The second is that the SEC needs to answer whether efforts by Ripple were necessary to affect any increase in the price of its native cryptocurrency, XRP. Well, this contention can be easily challenged by Ripple because it has been very clear, especially for all stakeholders, that Ripple businesses do not affect the price of XRP. After all, that is entirely away from the digital sphere. What Ripple is doing has got nothing to do with the price of XRP. Asking this question has made the SEC even more prone to cross-examination, lowering their reach to winning the suit. Apart from this, the SEC is required to respond to 776 request admissions that relate to Ripple's fair notice defense, which is by far the most solid pillar arising directly from the Constitution of the United States. This is the major update: Ripple's fair notice. SEC has asked for a motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense. If the judge agrees on passing the motion, then there would not be any question to answering the request for admission. On that note, we do not think that the judge is going to pass the motion because, for that, the SEC needs to present a valid reason. Moving on to the due date of 6th December, the SEC has to respond to 309 requests for admission relating to the defendant's defense under Morrison v. National Australian Bank Limited, ordered in 2010 that XRP sales occur offshore. The case has set out a precedent under which the required documents will be scrutinized for proper admission of SEC's contention. On 6 December, the SEC might also be required to answer whether the XRP ledger was fully functional when the sales took place in 2013. Attorney Jeremy Hogan has also commented on this point, representing this as the hidden gem where the SEC contradicts itself. Ripple's fair notice defense is something why the lawsuit is still working. Any verdict on this motion is likely to make or break the lawsuit. Till now, the judge has not given any date on when Judge Sarah Netburn will hear the arguments. We presume the date is going to come sooner. Maybe on the 6th of December, we will get the date for the next hearing on fair notice defense. However, the likelihood of the hearing getting delayed is also higher due to Christmas. Nonetheless, whenever this happens, the party who wins this motion practically wins the entire lawsuit. Overall, we believe things are going to go in Ripple's favor. The lawsuit has affected Ripple's financial dynamics to a great extent. The Fox Business Investigation report also talks about how Ripple has sold out millions of XRP after the commencement of the suit. To date, the fintech company has sold about 800 million of XRP. Even though it is not something an XRP holder would want, but it is understandable because XRP has been having a lot of financial cutoffs. And one way to ensure the company's function was to maintain the cost and run their business. However, as an XRP holder, selling out millions of XRP will negatively affect the market because the selling pressure is rising, and the market is getting flooded with XRPs. But with the suit in Ripple's favor, the Fox Business report has marked a great persuasive value, leading XRP's future to an amazing $10,000. Well, that is all for the Ripple vs. SEC update. We hope to see you guys in our next video. Till then, if you found this video informative, then make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell notifications to never miss out on any new updates from us. Also, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us more about the new updates, and why not have a discussion? Do you think the judge will allow SEC's motion to strike Ripple's fair notice defense? And with that, we will see you all in our next one.